Hello, Natasha. This is Blackburn Voice. This is a general discussion between myself, Blackburn Voice, and Natasha, just to get what Natasha is all about, just to understand Natasha. So, Natasha, can you introduce yourself, please?
Yeah, my name's Natasha to Surf Shah, and I've decided to stand as a candidate. And obviously, you've come and asked to speak to me, and I'm really grateful for you to do that because obviously it gives me a chance to explain why and who I am.
Yeah, that's good. So, tell me about your background. Some people who might not know you, tell me about your background, your relationship with Blackburn, and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, basically, I've lived in Blackpool since I was 7. I was born in Oldham. We moved to Blackpool, so I've been there since I was very young. So when I was there growing up, obviously looking at the way there was quite a lot of hostility towards Muslims.
Well,
There wasn't that many.
Sorry, I think you're not a bit clear. When did you move to Blackburn?
Oh, into Blackburn. I moved to Blackburn about a year ago.
1 year ago, yeah. Okay, let's stick to Blackburn. And so, tell me about
Yeah.
your background. What have you been doing in the past, and so forth. Your
Um,
occupation.
yeah. Basically, I started off volunteering for different organisations, trying to give them the basics on Islam, like obviously nurseries in different places on how you take care of a Muslim child, etc. And that's how I got into the whole situation. I then became an executive member of the Faith Forum, and I stood there for the Muslims. We then realised that you know we need to do cohesion work, so we did Milad Sharif in Blackpool, which was the first ever it ever happened, and we did that with the support of Ummah Channel based in Blackburn. So that's my link to Blackburn because obviously I used to come and work at Ummah Channel that was based in Blackburn, and I did quite a few different shows there on that TV station. So we did the Milad Sharif, and then after that we realised that we needed a masjid that was inclusive to everybody. So we opened Noor Medina Masjid. We did get a lot of sponsors from Blackburn as well. A lot of people who would go for the day trip would come and visit the masjid and so forth. So that was my charity work. And from there, I then realised when the war was happening in Iraq that there was no medical aid there. My mum had gone on pilgrimage there. She got very ill. There was no medication, and that highlighted the situation there. So I then decided that we were going to collect medical aid, and we took it and handed it over to the hospitals. We worked with hospitals very closely in Baghdad, and it was 3 different hospitals that we gave the medical aid to, and we went twice to Baghdad to do that. After that, we then also did work in Turkey because of the situation in Iraq, a lot of people from Iraq were going to Turkey as asylum seekers, and they were going from Syria as well. So we did a lot of work there, giving them food packages, basically trying to support them and help them with getting accommodation. And then obviously I was still carrying on my work on various different TV stations. Obviously when my channel closed down, I was still carrying on my work, doing that. And we then basically decided that I wanted to move to Blackburn. And when I moved to Blackburn, I was then highlighted by other factors. I was meeting a lot more people that had survived domestic violence.
Sorry, I just want to ask you now a question. You spent all your life. I don't want to ask your age because it's very rude to ask someone a lady's age. So I assume you got a family, children, and all that kind of stuff.
Alhamdulillah, I've got 4 children.
How old are they?
I'm married.
How old are they?
My eldest is 24, and I don't mind saying how old I am. I'm 45.
Oh, sorry, I'm older than you. Yeah, it doesn't matter. So anyway, what I want to ask a leading question from that is, you spent all your life away from Blackburn, and you just come into Blackburn a year ago. Why?
I've moved to Blackburn a year ago, but I've got family members who live in Blackburn, and I worked at Ummah Channel for quite a couple of years doing that as well. And from that, I then also went and supported different masjids in Blackburn. Different masjids were supporting our masjid in Blackpool.
Yeah.
So I had quite a big link with Blackburn because obviously Blackburn is quite close to Blackpool.
Yeah. Okay, that's fine. So, in terms of political activism, what involvement have you had with the council or the government so far in your life?
So far, well, obviously, my work started first of all was when with the racism with EDL and BNP. So I did quite a lot of activism work then by going out and basically teaching that Islam is a peaceful religion and that we are here to live together as brothers and sisters. So I did quite a lot of work with that. And then after that, obviously with the Iraq issue, I did quite a lot of protests within the area to explain to people about the issues in Iraq and trying to get support for the issue in Iraq when obviously ISIS was there.
Yeah.
And then recently, obviously with Palestine, I've started going to rallies and I've also volunteered with Friends of Aqsa.
Yeah, that's fine. So, in terms of, because you know what's involved in Parliament?
Sorry?
Do you know what's involved in Parliament?
Yeah, obviously, you know, we're here to try and make a change. We're here to, you know, like go back to Parliament and actually go and tell them what our people in our community, in our constituency want from us. So obviously we are going to be workers for the community. So what the people who are going to vote, what they want is what we are going to be obviously portraying back there when we go there.
That's
So
fine.
whatever issues it is, whether it's about housing, the food crisis, Palestine, or any other issues, we are here to work for you guys to
Yeah.
go and take that back there.
So let me go back to the Palestine thing. Have you used your voice? Have you raised your voice, or how have you used your voice for the cause of Palestine?
I recently went to Turkey. I met quite a lot of people that are working on the borders of Turkey, taking, you know, obviously medical aid and
No,
food and
no,
everything
I
else
mean
over to.
that's your
Yeah.
as a typical politician, you divert in the question. How have you used your
Well,
voice?
I'm not a politician, am I? At
Okay,
the
sorry,
moment, I am not actually a
sorry,
politician at the moment, am I?
sorry. As because you're going to be using your voice a lot.
Inshallah.
Using how have you used your voice in UK, especially in Blackburn, for the sake of Palestine?
I have been going out and standing outside Barclays Bank, going outside the town hall. I've spoke. I've done poems. I've done chanting. When there was a big event recently done by Blackburn you know, Friends of Aqsa, I was there and I volunteered there as well.
Uh,
You know, and as much as I can get involved, I do. I have got a very sick mother. And that's why at the moment I've took this time out for her because obviously she's my mum and your mum is priority. But she knows that I want to do this and she's fully backing me in this cause because she does feel that I would be
that's
the right
fair.
person
That's fair.
for it.
I think we're going off a tangent. How have you used your voice for Palestine in Blackburn?
Going outside, standing outside Barclays Bank, going outside different places wherever they've held.
So it's not. It's like it's basically. I'm asking about voice. Anyone can stand there out there like a garden gnome, yeah, like or the Statue of Liberty, like one of the guys does. I'm asking about your voice. How have you used your voice? Tiger Patel has used his voice plenty of times. So has Adnan for Palestine. I'm asking you, how have you used your voice for Palestine? Because that is what you're going to be
Tiger
doing.
Patel has used his voice. Yeah, yeah.
No, no,
They've used their voice on
I'm
social
asking.
media.
Yeah, I'm asking
Yeah,
about
and that's what
you.
I've done as well.
Let
I have used my voice. I have used my voice on social media. I have used it going round when I've been in local areas, canvassing, talking about Palestine. That's how I've been using my voice.
No, I mean, have you been on the platform and talked about Palestine? Like, for example, Adnan he's done that plenty of time. There's records of that. Have you used your voice for the case of Palestine? Have you called out the genocide parties what they are doing? Have you? Okay, let's go on to another topic. What's your involvement been in
Mhm.
political affiliation in the past? Have you been member of any
In
parties?
2000, yeah, in 2011,
Yeah.
I was a member of Labour Party, and that was in Blackpool. And I left the Labour Party in 2012 because I wasn't happy that they were supporting me, not in front of people, but they were supporting the masjid, but then they wouldn't do it in front of people because they didn't want to lose votes. And so for that reason, I didn't want to stand with a party that can't, like be brave enough to stand for what they believe in.
Yeah. So what I'm asking, you've been here for 1 year. You are
Yeah.
you? The question now is, I mean, are you fit enough uh, to uh, to know the problems of Blackburn?
Yeah, 100%, because I've already told you I've got family members who live in Blackburn. I've also been on, like working with my channel, going around different masjids for different issues. So I do know I've known Lancashire Council and mosques for many, many years prior because obviously,
You seem to be more inclined towards masjids and Islam and stuff like that. Blackburn does not only consist of mosques; it consists of a broader
no,
community.
I'm mixed right. No, I'm answering what you're asking me, but
No, no, but
I don't just
I
stand.
have, I've told now, I have not asked you about mosques, and
No,
you're talking about
you've asked me,
masjid.
you've
No,
asked me where I've used my voice,
no, no,
and
no.
I'm
But
just telling you what I have done.
so you mentioned about basic Islam teaching. I mean, it's all here, but throughout the conversation, you've been talking about Islam. You're talking about basic Islam, Muslims, executive with this member of Masjid, so on so. But and Milads, Sharifs, Nur al Madina, Muslim channel. But you have not said anything about the broader community that we live in. We live in a multicultural community.
Well, you know that I work with LGBTQ, which is not a Muslim related issue. I am mixed race. My dad's white. I have English family. I am very multicultural, and I am very in tone with working and creating cohesion and working with different communities. And I feel that I do that very well because I do work with a lot of different cultures, communities, and faiths. And I
So,
don't just stand there
so
for
far,
one faith.
so far, you've just been saying Muslim, 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 Islam, Islam, Islam. It's not about
That's what I've done
Islam.
in the past. I'm
It's
telling you what I've done in the
it's
past.
it's not about Islam. We're living in the West. We are British Muslims, yeah, and
Exactly, yeah.
we don't want you, Natasha, to fly the flag of Islam in the Parliament.
But I'm not doing that, am I?
But
You've asked me
you
what I've
mentioned
done in
Islam,
the
Islam,
past.
Islam. So
No,
now
because
all
you've asked me what I've done in the past, and obviously I'm going to tell you what I've done in the past. But you know, as everyone else knows, in that group, that I also support other groups that maybe you don't agree with, but I do support them, which proves the point that I'm not just here for Islam, Islam, Islam. I'm a Muslim, I'm a proud Muslim, but I'm also multicultural. My
okay.
father is English. I have half my family who are not Muslims. So for you to say that is actually quite
Sorry,
upsetting because that isn't who I am. And,
sorry about.
you don't know who I am.
Okay, let's move on to the next topic. So you've just been parachuted in, landed yourself in Blackburn in a year ago, and now you're going for elections. Now, all of a sudden, because you're the new gladiator in the match of election 2024, what is your actual reason for this? Do you know the reality of Blackburn?
The reason that I'm doing this is
No,
because I know that I will
do
do
you
the,
know the reality of Blackburn, that there are two independent candidates standing, Adnan and Tiger Patel, and then
yeah.
you've just landed here on a parachute, yeah, and
No, I haven't,
no,
because I was in the last election as well.
let me finish my point. Yeah, you landed over here in a parachute, yeah, and what are you doing? What is your main objective here? Because it's about this is a Palestine protest in Blackburn. Yeah, what is your main objective?
Well, it's not just about Palestine, is it? And you've already said that and highlighted it, especially in the groups. All of you have highlighted that it is not just about Palestine. Yeah, we've all stood as independents because we want to stop the crisis in Palestine. We want to stop what's happening in Palestine. We understand that, but there's also...
Who are the culprits that are doing this? Labour Party
What
and
do you mean?
Conservative. What do you think of Labour Party and Conservative? What do you think of Labour Party and Conservative?
I hate them.
Why?
Because of what they've done. I have not just about Palestine, but I have worked, like I've just said, I was a member of Labour Party and I've seen what they've done. They can stand by you, you know, they can stand by you in a personal level, but when it comes to votes, they don't want to stand with people. So they let people down all the time just for their own votes. They just use Muslim votes to win. And that's the same with Conservatives.
There are other credible people that are standing here, like Adnan, and that has been chosen by the independent group. Yeah, and there's 11 of the independent guys that chose him. Even they had a hosting with Workers' Party. And Adnan was a credible candidate from the hostings. Tiger Patel didn't turn up. What makes you credible from the... you're standing as an independent, or are you standing for any political party?
I'm standing as an independent. So the issue... No, can I finish? Can I finish? Yeah. And the hustlings that you're saying, when the last election was going on, the independent party said that they were standing with the Workers' Party, and they invited them to Blackburn, and they, in front of a whole hall full of people, they said that they were going to back the Workers' Party. Then suddenly they decided that they were going to go with Adnan. They never ever offered any kind of place for Tiger. Not even when it was for the councillors and not for the MPs, and they never invited me either. And all I got is messages of people from that party to try and stop me from not standing. No one has actually come to speak to me and asked me why, because they just don't like the work that I do with the LGBTQ. So that's why they don't like it. But if it's about Palestine, that shouldn't come into it. If we're talking about Palestine, then the other work that I do shouldn't be coming into it. And you've already said it's not a Muslim issue, but yeah, the Muslim issue gets brought in when somebody talks about me doing LGBTQ work. So you can't have it both ways.
Yeah, you can't. Who's talking about LGBT? I'm a neutral person.
Everybody in the group. Everybody in the group who's waiting for...
Sorry, I've not even mentioned anything about LGBT. Why are you bringing that sensitive issue forward? They leave them alone because they're a community in itself. They are not... They of this... leave that issue to the side. The problem that...
No, but why should I... But listen, why should I leave that to one side when that's been the issue
fair enough.
From day one?
Yeah, the problem that we have is multiple independent candidates standing in Blackburn, dividing the vote, and you are parachuted in, and it's going to be an easy ride for...
I've not been parachuted in.
Yes,
I've made a decision. And everything that I've heard from the group that you're part of and from where you've invited me for this meeting, because obviously before this I didn't know you, and this is the first time I'm speaking to you properly. We spoke a little bit yesterday, and basically I just feel that you've all made your decision about Adnan, and this is just a way of making me back down.
It's between Tiger Patel and Adnan. So I'm trying to elicit the real...
Yeah, but Tiger Patel knows that I'm standing.
Can you hear me out, yeah? The reasons that these guys are standing is because they're passionate about Palestine. And what I'm trying to ask is, are you passionate about Palestine? Because
I am, of course I am.
The way it's going to go now, we're having an extra person in there is going to split the vote, and Labour's going to get an easy seat here. So all I'm trying to ask...
Yeah, but can I just ask you a question? You've just told me that Adnan is passionate about Palestine, and so is Tiger. You've also told me that Tiger and Adnan have gone out and used their voice for Palestine. So rather than having a go at me, why are them two not sitting down and deciding out of them two which one should be standing?
You need to go
Why
and
have
ask.
they then, both of them, gone for standing? Because the other party, the other independent party, kicked Tiger out. Now, we all know that Tiger does a lot of work. I'm not saying he doesn't. I've got no issues with Tiger whatsoever. He's been at rallies where I've been at rallies, and he's a very decent man. The issues that we have here is that obviously it's about not just getting the Muslim vote, it's about getting all the votes. So he needs to be able to communicate. Whoever wins needs to be able to communicate with every part of the community. And that is the issue. That's the only issue with Tiger. But I still feel that he won as a candidate, but then still the other party, the other independent party, still haven't joined up with him. Still haven't given him that opportunity. So there's issues going on with them two themselves. I don't even understand why you're having to go at me for it, because do you know what I mean? It's a bigger picture.
Let me ask you a few other questions. So, do you know the reality? If you stand, do you know the reality is going to split the vote and let Labour in?
That's going to happen whether I stand or not, because there's already, how many independents is there?
No. I mean, if
you tell me.
It's going to increase. It's going to basically. It's going to let Labour in. But what I'm trying to say is, if you really want,
even if I stood down now,
do you want to make a change?
You've still got more than one person.
Yeah. So what is your objective? Do you want to really make a change for the issue of Palestine and the Muslim community? And the community.
Of course I do. Otherwise, why would I be standing?
Okay, I'm going to propose something to you. Burnley does not. This is what I proposed on the group as well. Burnley does not have an independent candidate. There are 11 independent councillors that resigned in November last year. So why don't you go there and stand there? They need you more there, and you'll be a better voice there to lead the community of Burnley, because they don't have an independent candidate.
But I don't live there, so obviously I that's the same. Like, I've lived here for 1 year, and you still think that's not enough. No, so how would people react if I went and stood there and they don't know me? We're in the same scenario again, but worse, because I've never lived there, whereas I have lived in Blackburn.
Yeah. So if you've never lived there, so you don't have to live there in a constituency to be standing as an MP. Like, for example, there are people that are being parachuted in from Labour Party from one place to another. They do, like, for example, in a lady called Kate Dearden, doesn't even live in Halifax, Calderdale, Calder Valley, or Halifax, wherever it is, and she lives in Wakefield, but she's standing in a different town. So similarly, if you really care and want to lead the community on the issue of Palestine, you should seek, you should reach out to Burnley and become the leader.
Yeah, but is there enough time to do that, though?
Yeah, you've got an hour.
Is there enough time to do that, though?
You've got an hour to do that. You can establish contact with them and just do it, because this is where you'll be utilized more, because they don't have an independent candidate there.
I would be personally happy to stand in any area where they need an independent to stand. I'm not here to make Adnan lose or make Tiger lose. I have stood because I feel personally that the other candidates aren't right for whatever reason I've got my own personal reasons for. Okay, so that's why I've stood. But if I knew earlier, or if there's still a chance of another area that needs me, I would be happy to go there. I'm not here for fame or to try and cause people pain and anguish. I'm here for the bigger picture. I just feel that the people that are running the independent group in Blackburn are causing a lot of issues, because 1 minute they're with the Workers' Party, now they've got Adnan. They've never been on side with Tiger, yet Tiger has done quite a lot of work in Blackburn. So for me, that is my issue in Blackburn, and I think that they all need to get their act together as well. It's not just about me or Tiger, but it's them as well.
Yes, definitely. So in terms of you want to stand, you know that you're going to lose. We know that if there's any candidates that are coming, you're going to lose. Then uh, now let me go back to the figures of the previous election.
Well,
When
maybe. Well,
okay,
maybe if
okay,
you're
okay,
if you're really saying that Burnley needs me,
yeah.
then maybe we should cut this meeting short so that I can actually investigate in this and see if there's actually an option for doing that.
Yeah, I will help you do that. Now, let me just look at your previous track record as councillor. You've stood for Mill Hill and Moorgate Ward in the election that just gone by.
Yeah, I had 2 weeks. I had 2 weeks to actually do that.
So you got 10% of the votes there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So do you know how many do you know what do you know how many electorates there are in Blackburn?
In the last election, it was just under 19,000 votes.
Let me just get the figure out. Sorry, I don't know this information as well.
18,000 and something it was in the last election.
Yeah, as far as I know, what I recorded in there is that 10% of the votes you'll only get if you're going to perform the same way you performed in Mill Hill and in the election. Sorry, I've got only 10 minutes left. Yeah, you're only going to get about, I think, about 3,500 votes or 4,000 votes maximum, and that'll be a loss. You know that this is a losing seat, so let's cut it short. And as you rightly said, you know that this is going to be a losing seat. What do you say to that?
I say that I'm standing for the reasons that I'm standing for, and I know that I'm doing it for the right reasons. Whether you believe that or whether other people believe that or not, I know and I believe in what I'm saying and standing for. And at the moment, I'm still obviously standing in Blackburn, but you've now told me about the other area. So I'm not closing the door on that. And I've said to you that once we get off the phone, I will see about it and see what can be done.
Yeah.
I'm not here for the fame. I'm not here to make anyone, defamed or make them lose. I'm not going to get any enjoyment from it, but I'm just very, very, you could say upset by the situation where we've got one party that is affiliated with the NAN that is a very rigid and backward thinking group. You've got Tiger, who I have got lots and lots of respect for, but I really don't feel that he'll be able to get any of the other votes, maybe just his Muslim votes. And so we're in that situation.
Yeah.
We're in that situation. And I just feel that Blackburn, there is a situation, and I agree with you, there is a situation. I'm not even here to deny the fact. There should only have been one candidate, but I just feel that it wasn't fairly spoken about. People weren't invited. People didn't get the opportunity to sit down, speak about it, and let the community vote.
Yeah.
And that's what should have happened.
Okay.
And if I would have been voted that no, we don't want NATASHA to stand, I wouldn't have stood. But that was never given as an option.
Okay, that's fine. So now you're gonna go there. So you know that this is a losing seat, and even though you are just standing to make a point.
It's not about making the point.
So
you're saying that it's a losing seat, but everybody that goes and stands in election are going there to win.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, at the end of the day, I'm going to do what's in my best ability to get the votes that I need.
From your track record,
nothing's guaranteed.
From your track record on your election that we just had,
a 2-week election, a 2-week election, and I got votes in an area that is very predominantly racist, and I was put there because no other Asian candidate from that independent party wanted to stand there. So I was thrown under the bus to stand there, and I took it.
Does it not
for Palestine? I did it for Palestine.
Natasha, doesn't it make sense that you know you're going to lose here? You're going to probably get about a projection about 3,000 votes. Shouldn't you be helping the independence party as a whole, either to to step down and
listen,
leave.
I've tried.
No, can I let me
Listen, I have tried. I've had meeting with them. I've tried
can
to
you let me
speak
finish
to them,
and
but they don't
just
want
work
to.
with them, just work with them as a advisory body, either Tiger Patel or Danan, to get your points across, because this 3,000 votes that you're gonna get can help the other independents to win the election.
Yeah, but I could say the same thing. Why don't they two help me?
Because they've got better, they've got a bigger track record. Anyway, listen, let's go.
No, answer the question. No, answer the
Because
question.
I've got
No,
you
you've
need
half
to,
answered it, and then you've dropped
yeah,
it. You've not finished your answer.
you need to go to them and ask them, because I've not questioned them.
But then you're asking me though. But then you're coming to me and asking me to drop my predicted 3,500 votes for them. But then why can't you say it for them also, that they should be doing that for me either? So
Yeah.
it should be between us three who wants to stand.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be just because I'm the female here and just because I'm the only one who you don't personally know or the area doesn't know, doesn't mean that I'm going to do a bad job.
No, we're not saying about
Doesn't mean that at all.
Actually, females are the what Malcolm X said. Yeah, man is an individual. A female is a whole nation. So that is
Alhamdulillah.
Yeah, when you give birth to a female, you're giving birth to a whole nation. So there's a lot of care and delicacies. We should. That's I'm of that opinion. Females' rights, they should be equally in the community. But anyway, cutting short, I've got 4 minutes left. So if, as you mentioned now, explore into Burnley for unity's sake and see if you can get into Burnley.
And I promise to you that I will look into it. And if it's possible, then I will do it.
Okay.
If it's not possible, then I'm going to start.
Let me give you the numbers now on here. I'll text them to you.
Can you WhatsApp me them?
Yeah, inshallah.
Can you text me them?
Inshallah. Okay, no.
And then I'll let you know what the outcome is after that.
Yeah. Okay, no worries. Okay, thank you very much. Nice meeting you. Hopefully you
okay.
make an amicable decision now, and I'll put this live this evening. Hopefully. Assalamu alaikum.
Okay, well,
and take special care of your mother, because your paradise lies under the feet of your mother.
Alhamdulillah, yeah, okay. I know that, and inshallah.
Yeah. Okay.
Just make dua for my mum.
Yeah, inshallah. Okay, assalamu alaikum. Make dua for me as well. When are you